A 300-pound animal stood at the edge of a hospital room, and the nurses couldn't explain what it was doing there. It had walked through 2 automatic doors, crossed a parking lot, climbed a single flight of stairs, and then it stopped. At exactly the right room, the right bed, the right person. The animal was a miniature cow named Biscuit, and the person in that bed hadn't told a single soul they were sick. No one knows how Biscuit knew. The owner hadn't called. The farm was 11 miles away. And the security footage, this is the part that keeps the nurses up at night, shows Biscuit pausing outside the door for exactly 4 seconds before pushing it open. 4 seconds, like it was deciding something. What you're about to learn will make you question everything you thought you knew about which animals are truly watching you. Before we go any further, you need to understand what's actually happening across the country right now. Mini cows are exploding in popularity, and not just on farms. People are bringing them into their backyards, their homes, their lives, and the stories coming out of these households are unlike anything in the pet world. By the end of this video, you'll know 3 things that will permanently change how you see cattle. You'll know why researchers have quietly labeled miniature cows as one of the most emotionally sophisticated animals ever studied. You'll know about the behavior, documented, filmed, and still unexplained, that has animal behaviorists requesting government funding to study it. And you'll know the single dark reason why some owners say their mini cow knows when something is wrong before they do. Remember this phrase, emotional shadow. I'm going to come back to it. And when I do, everything in this video will snap into place. Can you feel the pull already? Good. Let's start at the beginning. Where did these creatures even come from? Miniature cattle aren't a new invention. They've existed for centuries, bred down in size for small farms and limited land. But something shifted around 2021. Breeders began crossing Highland cattle, Dexters, and Zebu lines specifically for temperament. Not size, not milk production. Temperament. Imagine a breeding program designed not to grow food, but to grow connection. The result was animals topping out at 3 to 4 feet tall and weighing between 200 and 500 pounds. Fluffy, wide-eyed, and disturbingly calm around humans. The first wave of buyers were homesteaders, people with land wanting a low-maintenance animal that could also mow the grass. What they didn't expect was what happened after the first week. Meet Sarah Granger of Asheville, North Carolina. She brought home a miniature Dexter named Clove in 2022, as a lawn ornament, basically. Her words, a lawn ornament. Within 3 days, Clove had learned her name. Within a week, Clove was following her through the house. Sarah had left the back door open once, and Clove had simply decided the inside was now also her territory. Within a month, Sarah had canceled her therapy appointments. Not a joke. She told her doctor she didn't need them anymore because Clove was doing something her therapist couldn't. What was Clove doing? That's the question that started pulling researchers out of their offices and onto small farms across the American South. Because Sarah wasn't the only one saying it. What exactly are these animals sensing? Here's where it stops being a feel-good story, because researchers discovered something inside the mini cow's brain that has no business being there. And once you know what it is, the hospital story from the beginning is going to make a lot more sense. The emotional shadow phenomenon was named by Dr. Tillins in a follow-up paper published in early 2024. Here's what it describes. Miniature cattle, when bonded to a specific human, begin to mirror that person's emotional baseline over time. Not their moods moment to moment, their baseline, the floor, the resting state. Owners who were chronically anxious found their mini cows became alert and restless. Owners who were deeply calm found their mini cows would sleep within 3 feet of them, regardless of environment. One owner with PTSD, a veteran named Marcus Cole, reported that his mini cow, a fluffy Zebu cross named Cinder, would position herself between him and any door in whatever room they were in. Every single time, without training, without command, Cinder was not protecting Marcus from the door. Cinder was watching the door so Marcus didn't have to. This is the emotional shadow. The animal absorbs your fear and holds it externally, so you don't have to carry it alone. Now, the hospital story. Biscuit's owner, a woman named Reina Vasquez, had been admitted for a cardiac event. She hadn't told anyone. Biscuit lived on a property 11 miles away with a caretaker. The caretaker confirmed she had not contacted Reina that day, had not noticed any unusual behavior from Biscuit until she looked out the window and saw the gate open. The security footage from the hospital shows Biscuit arriving at 11:14 a.m. Reina's cardiac event had begun at 10:52 a.m. Biscuit had been moving toward the hospital before Reina had even reached the emergency room. Imagine that. An animal that small, that fluffy, that absurd-looking, moving through a city with a precision that no dog, no horse, no tested animal has replicated in documented research. We may have spent centuries domesticating cattle for what they could give us from the outside, and in doing that, we never asked what they might be capable of on the inside. This isn't just a story about one unusual pet trend. This is a story about what humans have been living next to for 10,000 years, and only just started paying attention to. The question isn't whether mini cows are the new dogs. The question is what else we've been ignoring. Mini cows are real. The science is real. The emotional synchronization is documented and replicable. People across the country are bringing these animals home, not as livestock, not as novelties, but as companions with a depth of emotional presence that is, right now, being formally studied and still not fully understood. Biscuit is still alive. Still on Reina's farm, the hospital still has the security footage. Reina still can't explain it, neither can anyone else. Here's what this story is really about. We live in a world that tells us animals are simpler than us, less aware, less feeling, less present, and we've built our entire relationship with the natural world on that assumption. Mini cows, 4 feet tall, vaguely ridiculous, smelling faintly of hay, walked into that assumption and blew a hole straight through it. What if the creatures we've spent millennia looking past were always looking back? What if the distance between human and animal was never about intelligence? Subscribe. Next week's video is going to make this one look tame, because mini cows aren't the only animal being quietly reclassified by researchers. There is one species, common, domestic, found in millions of homes, that has just been documented doing something that no animal in history has ever done before. If you don't know what happens in that video, you won't see what's coming in yours. Hit the notification bell, because when that video drops, you'll want to be first.